It's an honor and a privilege now to have with us today our keynote speaker, Wicomico County Executive Bob Culver. Mr. Culver is going to bring us up to speed on where we were, where we are, and where we're headed as far as our vision is concerned. But first, a little bit of background. Bob Culver, County Executive, was elected in November of 2014. In November of 2010, Mr. Culver was elected to his first term on the Wicomico County Council for an at-large position. Mr. Culver is a native of Salisbury, raised on the family farm, attended Wicomico County Schools and Salisbury University. Mr. Culver started his career in real estate sales, then owned a construction and land development business. This company created 4 subdivisions in Wicomico County and constructed over 150 homes. Through the years, Mr. Culver's career has evolved into being an entrepreneur, having started and sold several businesses which created jobs for many citizens of Wicomico County. Most recently, he owned a Salisbury restaurant. Ladies and gentlemen, give a warm welcome, if you will, to our County Executive, Mr. Bob Culver.
You wanted to know today how the county's doing. And I have to tell you, it couldn't be doing better with the circumstances that we've faced over the last 5 or 6 years. We just got back from New York, and we've gotten some very strong positive comments on how we're doing. Our reserve fund is increased every year. This year we're going to increase it again by $3.6 million. When we pass that on down to council, they will see that we're doing even better. We've been able to make some cuts. That's one thing that we were able to work on. When we came into my office administration on December 2nd last year, we made a couple changes. And they hit the paper pretty big in the sense that first thing I did was take away the birthdays. Second thing was to take home at cars. But let me tell you what that's done for Wicomico County. The birthdays alone has saved Wicomico County in excess of $180,000 a year. The take-home cars saved $7,000 in fuel in the first 4 months, which at that point in time was about $3 a gallon. So that was close to $21,000 in the first 4 months through this year. So we'll have a little bit more use during the summertime, but come back in the wintertime to be a little bit better again. So all in all, that'll be a great savings to the county. But we've also done a lot of other things too. I want to thank, the best way I can really give you like a state of the county is to go through each one of my departments and say what they've done, what our looks forward in the future to do. So with that, I made a couple notes just to go ahead and try to help me out here in telling you what we have done since the 10 months I've been in office. I need to thank Parks and Recreation. The USSSA tournament was so successful this year. We've had teams coming from, well, actually 2 teams coming from Canada. So with over 300 and some teams, we had over 4,500 people come to Wicomico County to play ball, parents, that type of thing. It totaled up to be about $29 million between an economic stimulus between Wicomico and Worcester County. We all know Worcester County's got more of the hotel rooms, and that's been beneficial to them, so we're happy that helps them, because if we can help them, it helps us too. In the same way it goes back and forth with Somerset. But the Parks and Recreation Department has done great. The Civic Center, we're embarking now on a remodel of the Civic Center to make it more user-friendly, bring it up to where every place else that we compete with is going to be. It's going to be about a $3 million, roughly, renovation. Anything from the front tile floors, which are about 20-some years old, to doing the new Tandis-type carpet, that type of thing, making it look younger, making a new paint job. We're going to put all new seats in the arena. With the seats in the arena, that's about $1.6, $1.8 million that we're still trying to bargain that out. So we're still working on that, but that's going to be a big change to Wicomico Youth and Civic Center. One thing I'm proud of is since we took over, last year we were able to get back 2 of our high school proms back in Wicomico Youth and Civic Center, and I think we all agree that we want to see the first name of Wicomico Youth and Civic Center being youth. We want them to use this place. So getting the proms back into here has been a big plus, and we're looking forward to keeping that going. So they've done a great job. Our building department, along with the help of the county council, we started last year, I guess you would say like a moratorium, but the first time was like a grant towards our impact fees. The impact fees during the first 6 months from last year to January were about, from last year to July, ran in the sense of 74 homes. We built $10,600,000 worth of homes from those 74 housing permits, and that alone will give Wicomico County roughly $200,000 back into their tax base by just eliminating the impact fee. Now, since that time, we put a moratorium on it. The council agreed to put a moratorium on that. we have pulled 67 permits up until July 1st. That's about roughly another $8 to $9 million on those houses. So that's going to bring up another $180,000. So we've increased our tax base to Wicomico County by approximately $380,000 to $400,000 by not doing anything other than making it user-friendly and business-friendly. So that's what we're aiming for, and I want to thank the council for that. The problem we're going to run into now, and it's not anybody's fault in Wicomico County, it's the state, and we need to work with our state delegation. This sprinkler system, we've only had 2 permits pulled since the sprinkler system went into effect July 1st. We left from 67 to 2 since July 1st. If you can take that and realize how much of an impact that's going to be, it's not the cost of the sprinkler systems and the ceiling and that type of thing. It's the cost of the well. It's the cost of the storage tank. It's the cost of the pump. All those things add up to where a new home, between the bat system with the septic system, the wells you're going to need for the impact of the sprinkler system, will cost an average homeowner about $20,000. So that means that somebody that could afford a $150,000 house can now only afford about $130,000 at the most. So that's going to affect us, and that's what we've got to work on. And I know with Jim's help and all the delegates in the office, in the house here, we're going to do what we can to try to make it user friendly for that. So anyhow, I'm very proud of the building department. Roads department, we are working very strongly on hoping to get back some of our HUR money. That's the money that we pay at the gas pumps on our taxes. Governor Hogan has promised during the next 8 years, we hope to restore that back to our full use, and we applaud that effort and hope very much that we can get that. We are still paving more streets. We did a little bit more this year. We took some money out of our reserve funds to do that, so we're trying to get caught up. Nobody's going to deny the fact that our roads got in pretty bad shape for a while. So we are working on that, and we're pretty much done. Solid waste, we're trying to figure out ways to make the life of our landfill go a little bit longer. It's scheduled right now for 25 to 27 years. We need to try to get 30 years out of that. We just don't know where things are, but we're working now with solid waste with MDE to try to make that last longer. And some of that will be our recycling. We just made an offer to Ocean City, or I should say Worcester County. As you read in the paper, they're having a lot of problems with their recycling. We want to help them out. We're very successful in recycling in Wicomico County. We've got a great system set up. We make money every year, about $150,000 from our landfill doing recycling. So if we can bring Worcester County's recycling into Wicomico County, we can probably help them out and help ourselves out too by making it more of a business and making more money off of that. So we are working with that. The only drawback I would say, I guess, in our solid waste would be the 2 locations we had for Solar City, our solar farms we had set up. One of them is done but not hooked up yet, and we don't know what the problem is there. That's supposed to save us about $30,000 a year. The other one is not going to be able to be hooked up just yet. It was $100,000 a year savings, and it was to be built out by the landfill, and that is just not going to go. For some reason or another, they want out of it now, but it was just basically due to, I can tell you what they said it was. They said the transmission lines of DP&L could not handle the megawatt system that we were going to be putting into it. So we're working on that, and while we would still love to do solar energy and work as fast as we can, we've got to be assured that when we sign a contract, we were supposed to be getting $30,000 a year almost a year ago, and we still are not getting that money. So we've got to stay on top of that, and we have the law department is working on that now. So another big change this year, we've developed our own economic development. In conjunction with and in complementing SWED, we are working on our own economic development. Wicomico County has a budget of $684,000 to try to help develop new businesses, to help develop the businesses that we are currently working on right now in Wicomico County. That will mean we have an economic developer. We took over the PNC building. Very proud of that. We'll have that going, probably open up by by January 1st. Because it had to be passed by a resolution, had to wait 60 days, so we can hire somebody as of December 5th, I believe, on that. So that'll be good. But we're working very strongly with SWED. I think you'll find out Dave Ryan's got a couple things in the works right now that we're working with. We've got a new business that's getting ready to expand, and that's Quality Linen Service. I think part of you will be there this next week when that ground breaks on that. And that job alone, that's going to bring about 40 to 45 jobs into Wicomico County. Now, they're not the $20 an hour jobs, but they're the jobs we need. In building a good base in Wicomico County, you've got to build the bottom of a pyramid. And we need the good base jobs to go on up and work on to get the $20 and $25 an hour jobs. So working on manufacturing is very important too. But I don't know how to explain this and explain it in a good way other than saying that as nice as it is to get new businesses in town and to work on that, one of our greatest goals is trying to maintain the businesses we have here now. Chamber of Commerce is represented by 800 different businesses here in Wicomico County. We need to make it available to you all the strongest possible method we can to help you out. Because by making you stronger, we'll make Wicomico County stronger, and then we'll in turn bring in new businesses when they see that you all are successful. So we're not just going to go out looking for new, and we do want new, but we want to make sure that if we can help these businesses that are in Wicomico County now, we will do it and do it in whichever fashion we can. So let us know what we can do to help you there. Tourism. Well, let me go to one other thing first. Our airport commission. We changed the airport commission up from a commission as it was set up to more of an advisory committee underneath the executive's office. We want to make Wicomico County Airport one of the strongest economic drivers in Wicomico County. We are going to work very strongly with Andy Harris. Congressman Harris will help us in a couple of things we're working on, but we need to get water out to there so we can have a hangar bigger than 10,000 square feet. We're working on trying to tap in from the water tower over by Warwick Community College, and that will give us the water system over in the airport. We need to have a sprinkler system that, as you well know in the building business, you've got to have a sprinkler system. Anything over 10,000 square feet has got to be sprinkled, and when you get into a hangar like it is right now, we've got to have that. So that's going to help us back with. We've got a couple businesses now, and not to let that out, but that are looking at the airport industrial park to come out there. So that's going to be good. So I'm excited about that. We've got some new members on the board, and they're excited. They have connection to aviation, and that's what's so important. They know what it takes to make an airport work, and whether they're flying their own private plane or they're bringing in people, they know. And so we're excited about having them on. But let me get back to tourism. A couple things we're going to be working in addition to here at the Civic Center. We've gotten a couple ideas worked up together, and I hope you all like them. West Side, Cedar Hill Park. We actually want to take that and make that almost like you've been to Janes Island State Parks where they had the cottages and they can rent there. Well, we're going to go with the tiny houses. That seems to be the thing of the future right now. We want to be able to put tiny houses down at Cedar Hill Park. We can rent those out. We'll be able to offer people from Pennsylvania, Baltimore, a slip for their boat, and they can come go fish down here. And who knows, after they have a couple good weeks down here, they may very well want to come back and move here. And that's our goal, to increase our tourism, to increase our usage of Wicomico County. So Pirates Wharf, that's another great piece of land that Wicomico County owns. That's on the Wicomico River. On that, we're thinking about doing something like a higher-end campground where some of these people that come in for the USSSA tournament, a lot of them will bring their own campers if we had a campground. But there's not a campground in Wicomico County for somebody with a motorhome, somebody with a nice fifth-wheel camper, that type of thing. So we're going to try to cater to that and help that out. Couple of the other things that I would like to just basically go on. We have started, in conjunction with Governor Hogan, we have started a program called We're Open for Business. And this was done with Governor Hogan's approval. As you see, Governor Hogan and I have gone together on a billboard. While I'm that, let me just take a little side note. I talked to Governor Hogan's office this past week after he got home from his last chemo treatment. He's doing very well. It's going to be a couple of weeks before he can get out and get moving again. But in talking with him, he wants to come to the Eastern Shore again. So trust me, I can tell you now that Governor Hogan will be here and probably be at some of your upcoming chamber meetings as soon as he gets feeling better now. He's very much looking forward and appreciates the support that he got from the Eastern Shore. So I want to wish him well and hope that pulls together soon for him. We've got a few things other that I would like to open up for questions if you like, but let me go one more thing, and that is our Board of Education. During this past year, Board of Education and I have made what we call like a monthly meeting, and we sit down and we go over things. As you well know, when I first came in, West Salisbury was on the board, it was off the board, it's back on the board. What we're going to do with West Salisbury, I was given instructions by the council to offer the school board, but cut it by 15%. I want to go back to the council this next week, and in doing so, we have found that the state has changed some of its restrictions. And what we can do is what was going to cost Wicomico County on the last school $16 million. I want to encourage the council now at this time to be able to take the new West Salisbury School at a cost of only about $13.5 million and encourage them to go ahead and build that and get that one underway, because we've got some schools that need some remodeling and some renovation that we've got to get started on. So that school was voted on to be rebuilt. It's going to be rebuilt. And it's going to be taken care of. And I think the council will see that we're saving money. And we've done, Mr. Foray over at the Board of Education has done a great job making whatever cuts he could to make it work. And they've sharpened their pencil. The council's sharpened their pencil. So it's not an adversarial type relationship. It's a good working relationship, and I welcome that with the Board of Education and thank everybody on the board for that. So at that point in time, I would like to tell you that I did have one or two things I wanted to let you know. We did get back, like I say, back from New York, and one of the most positive statements that we had was that this was from Moody's, and Standard & Poor's. Standard & Poor's, and I quote, "A very strong management conditions with strong financial management policies and practices under our financial management assessment," which basically means we're doing the right thing. And I can't thank the team that I've got together well enough to tell you how much that they've done to keep Wicomico County in the black, and we're not in the red. With that in mind, I would like to thank some of the county employees here publicly that have been with the county. Mr. Baker, who retired in June, Ms. Morris, who retired from my office about 3 or 4 weeks ago. They've done a great job with the county. They've given 30 years of their lives to Wicomico County, and they have brought Wicomico County to a point to where it is now. And also, I'd like to thank Wayne Strasburg, who's been 10 months and coming in from I guess you kind of add the fire into the frying pan when you become from a council person to an executive. But Wayne has been a great right-hand person, and he's been very helpful to everything that we're trying to do. So I want to thank him publicly also for that.
So in closing, our next general membership luncheon will be held Thursday, November the 19th, right here at noon at the Wicomico Youth and Civic Center. Maryland Energy Administration Director Williams will be here speaking. Jake Day, our newly elected mayor for the city of Salisbury, will be here to convey his vision for the city of Salisbury. And we may very well have a very special guest speaker, more to come. Thank you and have a great day. Appreciate you coming.